What is the most terrifying fact? You can die any second of the day for no known reason other than your body has decided it's done with this business of living now. You have Brugada syndrome, and you had a fever too long. Heart attack. You didn't know you had a brain aneurysm, and you hit your head. Pop. You bleed to death inside your skull. Just really tall and kinda skinny. You need a collapsed lung. The human body is weirdly fragile for no apparent reason sometimes. My old violin teacher died that way. He got 5 kids. Then went grocery shopping, and on the way back to the car, fell over dead in the parking lot. He was 42. Where did he get the kids from, and why did he collect them prior to grocery shopping? The defense mechanism of the Fulmar chick. When threatened, Fulmar chicks will projectile vomit a nasty, sticky orange colored, oil type substance at its attacker. The vomit hardens and glues the attacker's feathers together, rendering it flightless. So now the attacker tries to clean the vomit off in a body of water, only for them to find out the oil type vomit has effectively removed all possibility of buoyancy in water, and the attacker sinks to the bottom and drown, while the Fulmar chick looks on from a distance, watching, waiting for the bubbles to stop, and silently chuckling to itself. Terrifying. I wish I was that cool. To be fair though, humans have learned to become wizards who make weapons harnessing the power of fire, lightning, viruses, poisonous chemicals that melt enemies from the inside out, and even the very subatomic forces of the universe. We are doing alright. My mum died of ischemic heart disease. She had no symptoms at all. Just went to sleep one night and never woke up, as it's what also killed my granddad. It's super likely I have it, but I can't get tested until I'm over 40 and only if the doctor decides it's enough of a thing. I feel where you're coming from. My grandmother and father both had 10+ aneurysms in their brains from a genetic defect. I most likely have them too, but they often develop gradually, so I can't get my doctor to scan my brain until I'm 40 in 5 years. My grandmother died at 38. My father had one burst 2 years ago and just barely survived. Every day I wonder if my brain's going to explode from something that is easily detectable and treatable if caught in time, but that I cannot convince my doctor to approve. It's infuriating and terrifying. You've already done many things for the last time. There are countless things yet to do for the first time. Gotta love that positivity. Spiders can eat hummingbirds. This sounds like an Australia thing. Hummingbirds are only in North and South America, so the spider likely lives on the same landmass as you. Not true. I'm from Zimbabwe and I've seen hummingbirds there. The US has lost a confirmed 14 nuclear missiles since 1950, and we still don't know how many nukes the Soviet Union lost. How does one even lose a Refking nuke? One example would be when a US bomber collided with a tanker midair and the bomb was lost as a consequence. I thought they found the wreckage, but not the bomb on it or near it, so they assumed it got buried in the earth. Fucking rabies. I still get chills whenever I think of the comment in one of the threads. That stuff is nightmare fuel. Today's medicine is mostly based on disturbing human experiments. If the Japanese hadn't done horrible things to pregnant Chinese women, we wouldn't know half as much about what causes birth defects. Yeah, that's true. But it's kinda scary that somebody had to do this for their humanity. Yeah. We basically traded a lot of war criminals from Axis countries their freedom in exchange for their lab notes. There's plenty of world ending, or at least human ending, junk in space, and it's possible that something will hit us eventually. Most of what we know about is bright shiny things that reflect light well, but there are a whole lot of others that are really dark. It's like the solar system has a bunch of ping pong balls floating around. Some of them are bright and shiny white or rock colored, but some look spray painted black or very dark brown. We know where a lot of the shiny ones are, but the dark ones are almost invisible on the backdrop of dark space, and we only really see them when they move in front of something bright or light hits them at just the right angle. If they are moving quickly, we might have a few hours up to a week to prepare, and that's assuming someone spots it the moment it gets close enough to see with the telescope. Sometimes we don't see them, and we only see them after they've already missed Earth. The odds are really low that we'll actually get hit by any given rock. because space is really big. But there are lots of rocks out there, with plenty of time to float around. So eventually Earth will get hit. That one morning you can wake up, go about your day, be completely normal, then suddenly get a severe headache. No big deal, right? You've had migraines before, so you head to lie down. But instead that's it. You drop dead from a brain aneurysm. Or you survive and are rushed to the hospital where misdiagnoses and delays in diagnosis happen in up to quarter of the patients, and every second counts. 50% of ruptured blood aneurysms are fatal. 66% of those that survive have neurological damage. In those that survive, 20% have it happen to them again. Some people don't even experience symptoms before having one. FCK brain aneurysms. That's exactly what happened to my dad. He got a bad headache and the doctor in the ER said he was dehydrated and just put fluids in him. He became blind and paralyzed on his left side before they scanned his brain, but it was too late. They airlifted him and he lasted 5 more days on life support before we saw that the bleeding had gotten much worse. Took 10 hours from the doctors removing the tubes to him taking his last breath. Heartbreaking in so many ways, and life hasn't been the same. There are so many things in space that could just end the world in a second, and we couldn't even try to stop it. Is that really terrifying though? I mean, we can't do s about it. So why stress about it? If I'm not stressing about something, I'm not going to be terrified by it. I've always liked this Arthur C. Clarke quote: 2 possibilities exist. Either we are alone in the universe, or we are not. Both are equally terrifying. Apostrophe. Personally, I think being alone in the universe is a lot scarier than actually having aliens living out there. If we are actually alone, it means we got lucky, and us being alive is just pure luck and chance, which can easily be ended with unfortune and chance. If there has been alien live before us but now isn't alive, it means the alien race couldn't overcome some challenge. A challenge we will possibly face in the future. A possibly undefeatable challenge. I would suggest watching videos about the Great Filter. Kurzgesagt has a good video on YouTube. It's also sad facts. If we somehow kill our planet and ourselves, there won't be any sentient living thing in the universe for millions of years. If Noon is there to see it, does the universe exist? That COVID-19 is actually a lot less dangerous than it could have been. The next one might have a longer incubation time and much higher mortality rate, or primarily kill people in their 30s and 40s, or both. Like the Spanish flu. Imagine how fucked we will be then. In fact, I think we caught a lucky break with COVID-19. It's serious enough to force us to take it really seriously, and so learn how to deal with a serious pandemic, but at the same time mild enough to not completely ruin the world as we know it. COVID-19 is our pandemic dress rehearsal. Next time, we will know the drill. Yeah, same thing was said when we had SARS. No one learned a damn thing. If the sun exploded, we wouldn't know for 8 minutes. Rest easy. The sun is never going to explode. It doesn't have enough mass to become a supernova. It will instead gradually expand into a red giant, either cooking us with unfathomable heat, or swallowing us entirely. It is an open question which it will do, and also an open question whether we will get pushed into a wider orbit or swallowed up by the sun. But it is pretty much a given that it will cook the surface of the planet. If anything is still alive when that happens, it won't be after it's done. I hope this sets your mind at ease. The total mass of all of the ants on Earth is equal to the total mass of humans. Ants can lift 10x their weight. They could easily take over if they got it together. They don't have tanks and planes, though. When is the last time I had to lift 700 kilograms? We have forklifts for that. Take that, ants. Years ago I saw an episode of Monsters Inside Me where this guy was doing something outside and a fly flew into his eye. It only made contact for about a microsecond, but it was enough time for it to lay eggs. After they hatched, they started eating his eye from the inside, and he was starting to go blind until a doctor figured out what was wrong. Just imagine that. Getting your eye eaten from the inside and losing your sight all because a fly very briefly made contact with you. Ever since I learned about this, I get really paranoid when there is a fly around my face because of the fact that this could possibly happen to me. I thought it had to be a certain fly that does this. Bot fly or something. I don't think regular flies do this. Locked in syndrome. I'll blink 27 times to signal to kill me. Why did I think reading this thread would be a good idea? Babies are born with their adult teeth already inside their skull. I've seen a picture of this. I find it extremely unnerving. Prion diseases exist. What's a prion disease? Basically, a malformed protein. Because it folds the wrong way, it kills you. Just straight up kills you. In horrible ways. And because it's just a protein chain, anything that can destroy it will also destroy you. Because guess what? You're made of protein. Mad cow disease is the famous one. Vending machines kill more people than sharks every year. There is a higher chance of a shark killing you than a vending machine killing a shark. 95% of the ocean has been left unexplored. People think aliens are gonna come from outer space. Think again. That during the Cold War, both sides' early warning systems mistook the sun and moon for missiles. Pure luck that the people in charge were skeptical saved the world twice. Humans have caused 322 animal extinctions over the past 500 years.